Sup, YouTube? I'm back. Shit, it's been a long time. I always preface these videos by saying, you know, if there's a gap between my content, I generally have the best of intentions in providing regular features. I also have obnoxious cats. Oh. This guy. Uh-oh. Let go. Anyhow, where was I? Before interrupted. I have the best of intentions in providing regular content. I do. I truly do. There's so many ideas. So many different topics in my brain that I want to talk about. I get overwhelmed. I have too much stuff just sitting out that I want to just pour over in a video for people to watch and for people to consume and people to absorb, people to provide a back and forth banter about the content within each video. But here we are, however many weeks after the last video, and better late than never, right? I had a thought come into my brain, and this happened about, so was it 2 weekends ago? Partner and I found ourselves in Portland, Oregon for the weekend. It'd been the first time I left Seattle for like the last, I don't know, year and a half since I've been able to get out of town. Just between having the money to do it, a gap between clients at work, and an opportunity where our weekends fully jived together. And so, you know, as one does when they're out of town, they tend to do a little shopping, right? Well, no different for me. I've talked to y'all before about record stores that I like to hit up in Portland. One of those is City Noise, PDX. Currently sharing a space with a beer and wine establishment. Cool spot, man. They were originally in a different location. I actually like the newer space a little bit better. It's a bit bigger. Has room for more stuff to pour through. I went through some of the new records, but mostly I just kind of like went through the used stuff. Now, as I was checking out, I did pick up 2 records, but they're not going to be in this video. As I was checking out, they had a little spindly guy up at the counter with used cassettes. They had like a whole section of cassettes, but like they have a little spindle of like used cassettes. I don't know if they're like staff picks or what, but just a small amount. And I saw this gem, and this is like a real flashback to like mid to late 90s high definition television, and that'd be this Mind Rot cassette. Fucking Dawning. Oh, God, this like takes me right back to like 1996. It had been probably 15, 20 years since I've listened to this. I haven't owned a physical copy of this since 2001, I think. I had this and then the follow-up on vinyl, original vinyl. Relapse. Yeah. Anyway, Mind Rot, Dawning, cassette on Relapse Records. And what happens with me sometimes when I pick up these like memory capsules, which is what this is truly a memory capsule, I fall into this trap where I begin associating everything that I want to listen to around simple J card lyrics, Look at that. I don't know how many times I called that number to order music directly back in the day. So, well, fuck, I lost track of my thoughts. I do this like game of association, right? Where like I'm gonna listen to this. I'm gonna listen to the shit out of this for like 2 weeks. So of course, you know, put on my gym playlist, and I'm like, well, what else do I listen to? You know, because that shit takes me back. Well, one of the things that initially sold me on that mind rot back in the day, you know, I liked it as it was, but like, there's a guest vocal spot on one of the tracks, and if you're familiar with that Orange County, like Orange County, California scene, I think, the guest vocals are pretty unmistakable, belong to Dino Somis of Dystopia. So yeah, pull this. None of these are really new. One new grab out of this pile, and it was motivated by everything within here. But yeah, Dino, he's on that Mind Rot record. Most notably, drummer and vocalist for fucking Dystopia. This is original on Life is Abuse / Maximum Voice, Crawl Space Records, Misanthropic Records, 4-track EP. This is like my favorite Dystopia material. Like, I love Human Equals Garbage. Is fucking, it's the GOAT, right? But like, as an adult approaching 50, I can hear Human Equals Garbage and recognize that there are some very cringy, like super angsty fucking lyrics in there, just topically. Like, I really identified with that shit when I was younger. Now, I still love it, but as far as identifying with it, not as much these days. This record, however, kind of abandons that like youthful angst for more like worldly angst, which I can get down with. As a creature of 2024, I can definitely get down with worldly angst. This record is as applicable topic-wise now as it was when it came out. I think like what? Fuck. 96, 97, maybe 98. I don't know. It's fucking stellar though. This was the first thing I thought of to pull. Dystopia. Just killer. And then here's another one, By Association. I'm not going to show you much of this. Whoops. Nigel Peppercock. This is also released through Life is Abuse. I mean, first of all, original hype. And check that. That cover is swag. What? Steez. There's the back. I literally, I can't show you anything else that's in here because it's fucking, it'll get flagged for sure. Kind of a joke band. Members of Dystopia. Members of Code 13 out of Milwaukee, amongst other folks involved in the musical scene. If you heard of like Medication Time, it's another Dystopia side project, which I don't as often associate with that stuff just because of how obscure it kind of was. I had the record. I should have pulled it. I didn't think to. I pulled so much other stuff though. This is along those lines, but like way jokier than Medication Time. Medication Time still is kind of like a serious lean. This stuff is just ridiculous. I mean, It's ridiculous. It's like it's like dystopia imagined through a Born Against lens. If that makes sense to you. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. So I don't know. I started pulling that kind of shit. And we ended up with, of course, I mean, this is an obvious one, right? Spaz. La Revancha. It's probably my favorite Spaz record. It's a reissue. 625 Thrashcore. Killer. Power Violence. OGs. Spaz are fucking the GOATs. Greatest of all time. Up there with Man is a Bastard. Lack of Interest. And these guys. I mean, if you think about like California fucking Power Violence and grind, and you don't pull anything by Despise You, I don't know what to tell you, man. This is like a discography of sorts. It's just a single LP. Cool interior to the gatefold. Play on that suicidal tendencies shit. Despise You rule, man. I was lucky enough to see Despise You here in Seattle years ago, like 2015, I want to say it was 2014 and 2015. I saw them the same year. I saw Drop Dead back then that year. I saw Infest that year. I saw fucking Crude SS that year. Man, it was a good year for shows. This stuff is just killer. Despise You or stellar, man. Just absolutely crucial. California Power Violence, grind. Sometimes leaning more on the grind spectrum than Power Violence, if I'm honest. I mean, fuck, where did I put that shit? Here we go. Owing a lot to like this record, which I've talked about on here before, Excruciating Terror, but this is another pull directly resulting from that Mind Rot by stellar, SoCal, fucking grind, bordering on Power Violence with a lot of like noise. And in that vein, but minus the grind, this is another one pulled by, you know, just categorically linking them in my brain. This is probably, if you were to get one Man is a Bastard album, this would be the one right here. Some of the Men. The brutality continues. Look at all those tracks. Deep Six Records reissued this along with Vermiform, which of course was the label run by Sam McPheeters of Born Against. I remember seeing Man is a Bastard. Oh God, what were they? I think they were probably out for the Thoughtless LP, because when I saw them is when I bought the Thoughtless LP. It's one of the last remaining records of my original record collection that I still grasp onto. Killer record, but this is just, it's 32 tracks on here. The Roller, killer. Bloated Subhumans, Skull Crusher, Pigeonholed, Priapism. Oh man, this is just a rad CD. Crucial, if with this type of shit. Fuck. I pulled the world's shortest. It's a 3-inch record. Capless Casualties, Dark Circle. This is material from like, I don't know, 97. It's hilariously on a picture disc. Rad material. Not the best Capless Casualties material. I really like Subdivisions and Ruins. Just killer. This is also killer. It's their split with Slight Slappers out of Japan. Had to pull this one. Honestly, Capless Casualties this is great Capless Casualties material. MCR put this out. It's Japanese import, I believe. Topped by the Slight Slappers side. in my opinion. Just fucking phenomenal Japanese power violence, fast hardcore, killer. Absolutely killer. This is random. Kind of, not really. These two, Brujeria, El Patron. Alternative Tentacles put this out in like, I don't know, 93, 94. One of the earlier Brujeria releases before they had a full length on Roadrunner. That would be Matando Gueros. This precedes that. This is easily my favorite Brujeria material. These two tracks, El Patron and Hermanos Menendez, the Menendez brothers, obviously. El Patron, probably my favorite Brujeria song ever. It's killer. Weirdly released by Alternative Tentacles, like the same label that would put out the Dead Kennedys and Steel Pole Bathtub. Anyway, stellar. And then also this, Phobia, All That Remains, the EP on Relapse. These guys were like directly related to fucking Mind Rot, so it should be much of a surprise. This era of Phobia and then Mind Rot generally thanked each other in the credits. This is just like Phobia at their crustiest, most death metal. Still with that grind going on, reminiscent of like Brutal Truth, Extreme Conditions, Demand Extreme Responses, Napalm Death, Utopia Banished, callbacks, as well as referencing Excruciating Terror and fucking California's Nausea, which preceded Terrorizer. That's the kind of fucking gnarliness you can expect on this record. This is one of my all-time favorite 7 inches too. This material is brutal. Came out in 1990. Phobia, even the follow-up, Return to Desolation. So they put out like an LP, right? It was like a CD, which included the Return to Desolation and the All That Remains EPs. This is the winner easily. All That Remains is a track killer, Chemical Fear, Internal Rot, just Phobia at their peak, in my opinion. But wait, I can't talk about Phobia without talking about Plutocracy. This is the Dank Daddies? Dankstas? All of it has to do with something dank. Dankstas! Danksta's 10-inch. This is a reissue on Enemy, Rodell Records, like 96, I think, was when this was reissued. I don't think it originally came out in 96, so it's not, to call it a reissue is kind of splitting hairs. Phobia, we're killer. Or not fucking up. Took me a minute. Anyway, Plutocracy, we're killer. Just like a weird mixture of like grind and power violence and thrash and fucking like samples of 90s hip hop. These guys ruled. If you follow like Analog Archives, if you follow Dennis, you know Dennis. You follow Dennis, he talks about Plutocracy a lot. I'm pretty sure he knew these guys, knows these guys. I don't know. I don't know who's left alive. A couple of these dudes are dead, which sucks, man, because this material is just fucking stellar. They came out of like the death metal band Immortal Fate, who were also fucking killer. Absolutely put out like a couple essential demos. And then some of these guys in this project would go on to this project, Agents of Satan. This is, what do they call this record? It's just came out not too long, like within the last 5 years. Three or four labels. 625 Thrashcore put this out. Nuclear Ass Records, Rotten Scum Records, Carnalismo Records. This is called The Final Set. And this is a radio broadcast recorded live. So it's not like a live with an audience recording. It's just a live FM broadcast. And they play all the hits, all the Agents of Satan's hits. If you read like Thankless, like Mind Rot, or again Dystopia, Phobia, Plutocracy, these guys get mentioned. I think Stinkweed from Plutocracy had something to do with Agents of Satan. Maybe one or two other guys. I think more or less, if I could be wrong, pretty much the same band. Just these guys in Plutocracy were kind of fucking jokey, right? Like they, I'll call like Sniping Pigs with a Z. Dankstas, Dank Daddies was the split with fucking Phobia. Killer stuff. Yeah, Agents of Satan. This is like the jokier of the two bands. Tracks like Cut Off My Dick, Dutch Rudder, Kill for Bailoff. That's a killer track. Goat Scrote, Scrote Skin Mask, Crust Equals Glam. This is came with a rad like newsprint poster of the cover art with Rest in Peace Stinkweed at the bottom. Just absolutely stellar California shit. Agents of Satan rule. For whatever reason, I can't listen to Agents of Satan without thinking of this record. I don't know why. I think so. You know, back in the day when I was getting into all this stuff. What else do we have here? We got Dankcore, West Bay Coalition. This shit is so rad. Back in the day when I was getting into this shit really heavy, I think around the same time that I was picking up, you know, Agents of Satan splits with the likes of like Grief and fucking Soylent Green and that kind of shit. I also picked up this, so this is associated with that Mind Rot also. Apartment 213 with their Cleveland Power Violence record. This is not an original press, it's a reissue on Fuck Yoga. I don't know what year this reissue came out. It's not new, but it's not super old. I mean, we should all know Apartment 213 was the apartment of Jeffrey Dahmer. These guys were from Cleveland. Jeffrey Dahmer was from. Killer. It's like a mix of like grind and power violence and like noise and power electronics. A lot of similarities to like Bastard Noise, not necessarily Man's the Bastard. I don't think Man's the Bastard to some degree, but I think they took a lot of Bastard Noise cues, Tribe Remains, Neanderthal, that kind of shit. With like a, you know, a pretty good like sense of humor, but also like an uncomfortable fucking obsession with serial killers. Really killer. Awesome shit. Now, kind of going back to like Cali, this is another gimme. This is new. I had to pick this up. I found it cheap. Mind Rot with their Rapid Decay demo. Wild Rags put this out. This is old fucking material, man. 91 is the inside. J card. Some lurks. What I don't know what to say about Mind Rot. They would get signed by Relapse and kind of turn into like lame fucking My Dying Bride / Paradise Lost / Anathema worship band. The early stuff pre-Relapse. This just fucking phenomenal death doom. It's so brutal, it's so sludgy, and crusty at the same time. Like you can tell these guys by listening to this, as death metal as it is, that they were still entrenched in like that California fucking punk and crust scene. It's awesome. That also brought to mind this Gasp material. This is their demo from '96, Sore for Days. This was oddly reissued by, is it Dark Descent? It was a weird label that you would not generally expect to put out a Gasp reissue. It doesn't, that I could find, say on here, and I don't fucking remember, man. It doesn't fucking matter. Gasp were killer. They put out a record called, it's like Drone Triller of the Puzzle Zoo People. Weird title. They were a weird band. Power violence to like their core. This is a bit more grinding than that record. The record was like, imagine like prog power violence, and you would have that Gasp full length. This demo is a lot more straightforward, crustier, grindier, less noisy, less psychedelic, still fucked up, still irreverent as shit, still kind of makes you uncomfortable with the imagery, like the best power violence does. But yeah, Gasp, man, that stuff is crucial. And then just some fucking comps that I had to pull, man, just because I wanted to hear all these guys. Cry Now, Cry Later, Volume 3. Probably my favorite of the Cry Now, Cry Later series. Volumes 1 and 2 are fucking stellar, too. Man, you got Man is a Bastard on here, Lack of Interest, Soylent Green, Crom, Excruciating Terror, Suppression, amongst others. It's a 2 7-inch comp. Killer. I'm not gonna pull this shit out, but like, just killer comp. And around that time, you also had the Reality series. This is the first volume of the Reality series. Excruciating Terror, Lack of Interest, Despise You, Spaz, Crom, Man is a Bastard, with one of my favorite Man is a Bastard tracks, Tomb Ride. Rad 7-inch. And then I pulled part 3 as well on LP this time around. Los Kudos, The Locust, SU-19B out of Japan. That shit fucking rules. And they put out a record in like 2013, 2014. It's stellar. But they've been around since the fucking 90s, man. Infest is on here. MK Ultra, Black Army Jacket is on here. Charles Bronson's on here. Drop Dead, Corrupted, and Phobia are on here. Benumb. Who remembers Benumb? Hell Nation is on here, amongst several others that I did not list. Absolutely crucial. All this because I picked up a used copy of a Mind Rot cassette. It cost like $7 or something like that. It took me way the fuck back down this black hole. This has been my world for like the last 2 weeks since Portland, since I got that tape. This is like all I've been fucking subjecting myself to, like just constantly, whether at home or at the gym. This is what I do. I fucking end up doing these weird associations, and like that's all I can fixate on for, you know, until something else strikes me. I just got the new fucking Party Cannon LP in the mail, so chances are next up's gonna be a run of fucking brutal and death metal. But yeah, that's all I've got for tonight. I'm at about the half-hour mark. I'm gonna peace out. If you watched, thanks for watching. Engage me down below, comments. I like to respond to those, usually. Yeah, no, not usually. Write me something that's not fucking brain dead and I'll respond. I might even respond if you write me something brain dead. That said, I'm gonna get out of here, watch some TV, have a beer, finish up my day. I hope you're all well. I hope you all are safe. And, you know, don't be shitty, people. Don't be shitty. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.